So here at Truly Tropical, we have experienced a rather weird mango season. Basically, the weather has been strange, and the early mangoes, the ones that typically are the first ones in the season, actually are coming later. Dwarf Hawaiian, the first and possibly second bloom, was destroyed by weather, so that just shifted things to like now. Dwarf Hawaiian is a fruit that is usually our very first or second variety that we pick, and here we are in mid-season and we are picking Dwarf Hawaiian. And a close relative of Dwarf Hawaiian is this one behind me, and that is also typically a very early mango. And some of you might recognize this, but this is Tespolic. It has a lot of things in common with Dwarf Hawaiian. Not only the timing this year of the crop, it's usually an early variety, and it shares sort of a similar parentage to the Dwarf Hawaiian. Dwarf Hawaiian is like a Julie turpentine cross, and the Tespolic is a Carey turpentine cross. So very similar, and there's that one beautiful fruit up there, so I'm going to try and pick that. But as you can tell, there's a lot of green fruit that is still small. So this is a late year for Tespolic. So there is Tess. Needs a little bit more time off of the tree, and then it'll be wonderful to eat. Tespolic looks a lot different from Dwarf Hawaiian, but as I say, very similar as far as the genetics. And you know, they had a very similar experience with the weather this year. Both of them had a lot of flowers destroyed by cold, and I think that the rain when we had the cold weather also hurt the bloom. But fortunately, they are just very productive. They really want to, those trees really want to produce a lot of fruit. So even though the early bloom and possibly the second bloom got knocked out on both of those trees, we still have good crops on them. So not only do we have early mangoes that are late this year, but we also have late mangoes that are early. So really weird. This is Beverly, and Beverly is normally one of the final 4 varieties, and we have actually harvested quite a few Beverly already. So very weird year for that. Then we have Kent here, beautiful fruit and such, but it's a late fruit. I guess it really doesn't know it's a late fruit this year, but yeah, again, late fruit coming in early. And then the last one of the lates that we have really been noticing is Kit. And Kit is a big fruit, very versatile, and usually, again, one of our final 4 varieties of the season. And here it is. We're still in June, and we are getting Kit, Kent, and Beverly. So I think that the main reason is, of course, the weather. And the weather was just weird. It impacted different varieties in a different way. The main thing that I noticed was that it depended on the impact of the weather on the tree depended on the stage of growth of the tips, the newest leaves on the tree. So if the ends, the tips of those branches were really new leaves and the cold struck, then it just wiped that out. Those leaves died and such. But if those were mature leaves, then it worked out pretty well. So it was a combination of the stage of growth of the tree and the weather.